Greetings to the mini-conference, Still Much to be Done, held on the occasion of the IDAHO Forum in Copenhagen. This conference is set to discuss important questions about obstacles and shortcomings in implementing international human rights standards on equal treatment and the human rights of LGBTI persons. Human rights are universal, and LGBTI people, like everyone else, should be able to enjoy fully their human rights. All member states of the Council of Europe need to enact LGBTI-inclusive equal treatment and hate crimes legislation, and to develop policies and practices that prevent and protect people from discrimination and violence. The human rights of LGBTI persons are among the topics I address during my country visits. Being in the field allows me to receive first-hand information and to address the authorities about flawed legal frameworks, policies, and practices. For example, during a visit to Georgia in November of 2015, I urged the authorities to effectively investigate and adequately punish hate crimes against LGBTI persons. In my report on Slovakia, published in October of last year, I urged more vigorous efforts in addressing homophobic discourse and hate crimes against LGBTI people, as well as reforms about legal recognition of same-sex couples. In Ukraine last year, sexual orientation and gender identity were added as prohibited grounds of discrimination in the labor code. While this is an important step forward, more comprehensive legislation is still needed. But I was also pleased to note that the first Ukrainian National Action Plan for Human Rights included a series of measures for improving the human rights situation of LGBTI people. In San Marino, my recommendations concerned expeditious, transparent, and accessible procedures for legal gender recognition and legal protection for same-sex couples, at a minimum in the form of civil unions or registered partnerships. To come back to the questions to be discussed here, one of the main observations from my country visits is the need for stronger political leadership and well-targeted advocacy to build broad-based alliances among policymakers, legislators, media, and NGOs to achieve equality. However, changes in laws and policies are not enough. To eliminate the barriers and to promote greater social acceptance of LGBTI rights, government should foster the public's understanding of diversity and respect for all persons' sexual orientation, gender identity, and sexual characteristics through human rights education and awareness-raising campaigns, especially in schools. I will continue to place the human rights of LGBTI persons at the center of my work as I engage in dialogue with governments and parliaments, and I will remain a close ally of the movement in Europe for LGBTI equality. I wish you fruitful discussions and a very successful IDAHO Forum.